Hey, it's Daniel Chu, aka Chewbacca. Today's day 28 out of 30 of November rejection challenges. I have 3 challenges left, and I'm very excited to be done, almost. If you're wondering what this is and why the heck I'm doing it, please check out the link to my blog in the description below. Basically explains what a rejection challenge is and why I would bother embarrassing myself every day in November. Okay, cool. So out of the 3 challenges I have left, I have 2 challenges that basically, in my mind, involve a beach. One of those challenges is to ask a stranger to apply sunscreen to my face. I think that's the one I'm going to be doing today, but I got kind of backed into a corner on this one, honestly. I had sort of been hoping to do a different beach-related challenge today, which is to ask 2 random strangers to, the wording of the challenge is jump into the Pacific Ocean with me, but I'm gonna kind of reword that as like, go for a swim or something. But unfortunately, as you can see behind me, the beach is pretty deserted today, which makes total sense because it's the middle of the week and it's really cold and cloudy today, which is rare for San Diego and kind of sucks. But yeah, so I'm realizing that I had kind of a lack of foresight in planning that. This may also not be the best beach to find like tourists as opposed to locals, so I don't know. But yeah, since the beach is like really just vacant today, I think instead I'm going to attempt the sunscreen challenge, which is actually, as you will notice, still really weird and kind of misplaced because it's not really sunny. But you know, you can still burn when there are clouds, sort of. And you know, it doesn't matter that I'm like very dark and don't really burn easily. But anyway, all of these things are sort of extra factors that add to the awkwardness for me here. This challenge is actually an 8 out of 10 on my list. It is, in my head, it's pretty similar to asking a stranger to feed me a banana. This is maybe, actually I can't decide which one of these is harder. Asking someone to literally like feed me a banana, that was difficult because I think it could have been construed as sort of sexual and like very weird as a result. This one is tough for me because it involves actually like asking someone to like make physical contact with me in some like non-ordinary way, right? Like this isn't a handshake, this isn't a high five. I'm literally saying like, hey, can you help me with the sunscreen on my face, right? Which is not something that people do, not something that I would ever do normally, because, you know, obviously I have 2 working hands and I can easily apply sunscreen to my own face. So the biggest question on a stranger's mind is almost certainly going to be, why the hell can't you just do it yourself? And then the second question is going to be, why the hell do you need sunscreen? It's not even sunny today. But since I'm out of other challenges to do today, we're doing it today anyway, even though it's not totally ideal. And yeah, I'm gonna, yeah, I don't want to do this. I'm like pretty uncomfortable with this. I think I learned some things from the banana challenge that will help me here, which is like acknowledging the weirdness and like promising people that this isn't anything like malicious or dangerous or whatever, right? Which maybe I'll try to apply here. I think I am going to like specifically try to get myself to do a couple of different approaches if I can. I'll probably try this a couple of times. And rather than just like start with like everything that I've learned, maybe try a couple of different things just to see kind of what happens, you know. Give no context or give a little bit of context, right? Like acknowledge the weirdness, don't acknowledge the weirdness. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other things I can say so I don't have to go start doing this, but I think I'm out. So cool, well, wish me luck. Oh man, I can't believe this. Why did I agree to this one? Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Could you do me a really quick favor?
What's that?
I'm wondering if you would help me apply sunscreen to my face.
Sure.
Okay.
Why, you can't do it yourself?
I'm having a little bit of trouble right now. Yeah, I can't. Oh. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to stop you actually. So, why did you say yes to that? Out of curiosity.
Because I deal with people with a whole range of different things.
Okay.
But I'm also naive.
Okay.
I deal with addicts and alcoholics.
I see. Interesting.
Over many years. And
Okay.
people with HIV, the gay community that's so traumatized.
Okay.
And I thought there was probably a secondary thing behind you.
Uh-huh.
But you have a straight gaze.
Yeah.
An honest gaze.
Yeah.
The request was a little ridiculous.
It was a little ridiculous.
Right.
I expected you to acknowledge the ridiculousness a little more rather than just go, okay.
I'm English, honey.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
Are you a psychology student or something?
It's a good guess. I'm not.
No.
So what I'm actually doing here is I absolutely hate being rejected. So every day in November, what I've been doing so far is each day I have a different rejection challenge.
Oh,
So I've been asking strangers for weird requests, weird favors all month.
That's good.
Just to get used to the people saying no and just being okay with it. You didn't say no, which is
No.
why I'm really curious now, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, I busted your experiment.
No,
now.
it's okay. It's okay. I mean, hopefully if I get rid of the sunscreen enough, I can ask someone else.
Can I do the other side? Now you reject me.
You know, well, honestly, it's a weird day to be doing this because there isn't even any sun.
Well, actually, I have to because I got pre-cancerous cells on my ears.
Oh, really?
So that's why I wear this silly hat.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I put the stuff on. Even they say if you don't need a flashlight to see, you actually need.
Oh, really? Yeah, it makes. I have heard that like even when it's cloudy, you can get burned.
Yeah, that's why I had it walking on the beach for years. You know, just like with like that. You know.
Oh,
without
wow.
a hat.
Okay.
So I work hospice, and head and neck cancer patients seem to have. Well, it was over the phones only, but I could hear that pain over the phone.
Oh,
so
okay, yeah.
You get me with applying sunscreen.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, this whole history of stuff.
Right. I see. Okay, so a lot of it.
Basically, your demeanor.
Yeah.
You know,
it didn't seem dangerous. Sounds like. Okay.
I mean, I had one guy who was he had AIDS. He was a crystal meth user, and he would come in, and he said, Eileen, he goes, do you think I'm crazy? I said, if you're having to ask me if you're crazy, then you're not.
That's fair.
Just quit the drugs.
Right. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So based on your background, you've worked with people who have had challenging circumstances, and so you're like, the worst case scenario is that's what's happening here, and like I'll just satisfy the request.
Right. And I'm in public here too.
Right.
But you know, really interesting. I used to work behind the coffee bar at the Alano Club in University Heights, serving coffee to the alcoholics and addicts that came in. And at Christmas, I wanted to, because many are very lonely. They don't have anybody. They've been rejected. Their drug use has isolated them, etc., etc.
Right.
They also have a lot of issues.
Right.
And so I got these little Christmas ornaments from Costco, a whole bunch of them, and I had them in a brown paper bag. And somebody would come to the coffee bar or to talk or to have a cup of coffee, and I'd say, put your hand in this bag and grab something. And this one kid, he backed right away. He would not do it.
Man, okay.
And I'm thinking, wow, his trust was broken really early.
Right.
And it was just a Christmas ornament.
That's heartbreaking. Yeah.
I know.
Wow.
So when you've got that kind of extreme, you see you that looks like...
And you're like, this is totally normal. It's okay. All right, that's fair.
I'm just curious, too.
Yeah.
I learned something from every encounter.
Right. Interesting. Okay, well, I appreciate how open-minded you were to that. And thank you for doing half of the sunscreen on my face. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And actually, what you're doing is good to get over that trauma, because it's in there. There's a reason why you have rejection issues.
That's probably
just
true.
Like all of us, there's a reason why we act as we do now. And it's the trauma that happens when we're little or at any time, and it's seen by our nervous system as a threat to survival, and so you don't logically think it through. It goes into the limbic brain with no date and no timestamp, and your nervous system says this was a threat to my survival. If there's anything else that looks like it, smells like it, tastes like it, I'm going to go all out and say, this is a threat, and therefore we overreact. Whenever it says, oh, my button's got pushed, that's from some trauma that you can't access.
Yeah.
In your limbic system.
Right.
And but now there's a technique, it's been since the 80s, but it's not really well known, and it drives me crazy because it's not well known in the recovery community. And really, the drugs and the alcohol are the symptom, not the cause, and everybody treats the symptom, and then when the person relapses, they say, oh, you didn't really want it, or you just work your steps, or you go to more meetings.
There's a deeper issue.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Right.
That makes total sense.
But if you look up EMDR, or tapping, Francine Shapiro.
Okay.
What it does, it's alternately stimulate when you alternately. She was walking through the park. She was a cancer survivor, and she had just gone back to her doctor to see if she was what was going to happen next. So he says, okay, you're in remission. We don't know who's going to get it back and who isn't. Goodbye, have a good life. Typical bedside manner, right?
Right.
So she goes, oh my God. So she's walking in the park and she's obsessing on stuff. And then she notices that the obsession was lifted. She goes, what was I doing when that change of mind happened? And she was walking past a pond and these ducks were zigzagging, and she was watching the ducks.
Okay.
So she goes, maybe I'm onto something because I feel much better.
Right.
She goes home and tells her neighbor, think of something that's kind of a worry but not catastrophic, and follow my finger. And the woman goes, oh, it's gone. It was about a bill or something.
Okay.
So anyway, long story short, she starts trying it out on different people. She's a psychotherapist. And she develops a fairly complicated system of loosening up those memories, because by alternately stimulating the nervous system, you get to the limbic brain, and that the tapping gives permission for that to release.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the way I do it, and you can do it on yourself, and you can read more about it.
This is EMDR?
EMDR.
EMDR,
And that's eye movement, desensitization, something or other. And she said if she'd known it was going to be famous, she wouldn't have given it such a mouthful. But it's also called tapping. And there's a guy called Freiberg, F-R-I-E, or maybe there's a D, Berg, and it's self-help for tapping. It's on Amazon. But basically, the way I do it, say, think of a scenario of rejection. What emotion do you feel?
Fear, anxiety. Lots of those things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where do you feel it in your body? Because we want to involve the whereabouts in your body do you feel it?
I think my shoulders tense up. I tend to get. So it's probably like upper body tenses up.
All right. So upper body.
Yeah.
What's the negative belief about yourself?
That I don't know, somehow unworthy, or I deserve the rejection in some way, right?
I'm unworthy.
Right.
What would you rather believe about yourself?
I would rather believe that I'm awesome and that rejection doesn't matter.
And then what you do actually is, all you do is you just, and I do it on myself because I've had a trauma. Something bad happened to a young son of mine. Anyway, so this is just tapping. I even do it on the bus. So what you do, you just close your eyes, and you've given yourself the scenario, the 4 parts. What's the situation? What emotion do you feel? Where do you feel it in your body? What's the negative belief about yourself? What would you rather believe? And you just do this, and I set a timer, or if I'm on the bus, I just want to get to the Fashion Valley. And all I do is this.
Interesting. You're just tapping your thighs.
That's it. When the bell goes off at 3 minutes, and you close your eyes, you take a breath, close your eyes, start tapping, and let just whatever comes up, even if it's nothing. And I've tapped many people over the years. Is good.
Interesting.
And you can also and then I'd say, how is the feeling in your shoulders? And you'll say, oh, it got a lot worse, or it got better, or it's the same. And none of that matters. There's no right or wrong. I've had people that were so traumatized that they couldn't, that it just was blank, or a guy who'd had 58 ECT treatments for his depression to no avail. He got fragments at first, but as the time passed, he was able to see things like sexual abuse when he went to an English boarding school, things like that. I had one girl. Do you have a minute for me to tell you this?
Yeah, please.
I was counseling this lesbian couple, and the one, one was in the Navy, right? So the one in the Navy said, "Well, I'm coming with her, but it's really she's the one with all the problems."
Okay.
So I said, "Wouldn't you like to also?" No. I have no problem. It's all her. So anyway, I did her, and it helped her a bit. And then in the end, they were opposites, and the one that I treated, she cheated on her girlfriend.
Okay.
And they had a big row, and the clothes got thrown onto the street, blah, 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 blah. And this shook up the one in the Navy.
Okay.
Because, you know, she'd lost control here.
Right, right.
And obviously there was a problem. So she comes, I'd like to come and see you. Okay. So she comes in, and I say, okay, you know, I hear the story about what happened. And I say, what would you like to tap on? And she says, the book.
The book.
I go, well, I've noticed whenever you would come with Diane that you had this book and you always hold it here, but you never write in it. You know, is that the book you're talking about? She says, yes, here it is.
Okay.
So I said, okay, all right, we'll tap the book.
Okay.
So anyway, we did the fourth thing, and then she was tapping, and it was about feeling. She was a fear of losing control and stuff like that.
Okay.
And also distressed. She was distressed about the breakup.
Right.
Although I said it has to be about you, not what's what's wrong with your girlfriend. This is what's a negative belief about yourself.
Right.
So she says, well, you know, I've lost this relationship, or blah blah blah. Anyway, so at the end, I asked her. I just said, what did you see? And what she saw. This is very interesting. When she was in first grade, she needed to go to the bathroom, and she was afraid to ask, and she wet herself in front of the whole class, and all the class made fun of her, and so did the teacher.
Wow.
And this was seen by her nervous system as a 6-year-old as a terrific trauma, the end of the world, total shame. And so her nervous system said, anytime you have to control everything. And anytime you can't, it's the end of the world, right? Do you see the analogy?
Interesting. And she had forgotten about that memory?
Unaware of this. It only came up because of this.
Interesting.
And so she could see that, you know, and by holding this book, this was symbolic because she was holding it over her bladder.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we did a couple more, and then there was also the fact that the local, she was black. Okay. And the local pastor was actually her father. So there was more stuff. Okay. You know. But this key thing, she only came a couple more times. But I learned later that she was able to have a different relationship.
Huh. Interesting.
Because she didn't feel like she had to be in control because she'd just driven this other one away. And because she automatically kept everybody at a distance in case they got too close and exposed her.
Oh,
but she was didn't have a clue.
Interesting. Huh. So she had some sort of like hidden, repressed memory of this that was affecting her.
Right.
Her day-to-day. Wow.
Right.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And then I did my roommate. I had a roommate at one time. He was very hard of hearing and brought up in a dysfunctional family. And I was actually learning how to do this. So I said, "Can I practice on you, Levi?" So I did it on him, and so I knew that he picked to think about his days in the family because as a deaf child, he didn't get hearing aids for several years, and you know he didn't know what was going on, and he was the youngest. He had 2 older siblings, and mother was an alcoholic, dad was violent. Okay. I kind of knew that. Okay. So anyway, the first time he taps, he gets absolutely nothing. Okay. I said, that's okay, Levi, do it again. Second time he taps, okay, now I see it. He sees his mother here drunk. He sees his father beating on her over here, right? Over here, his older brother and sister are holding on to each other for support. And his little deaf Levi over here all by himself.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So he always felt powerless, useless, and left out, and abandoned. Right. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff as well as being exposed. And he said, And he said, and then they got me hearing aids. And then I could hear the screams.
Oh.
To me, that I said, Levi, that's like you've got a picture in black and white, and all of a sudden you can see the red blood with red paint.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But everybody's walking around with this stuff, some worse than others. Like the one that wouldn't put his hand in the bag, who knows where he put his hand that didn't belong, or, you know, who hurt him for trusting.
Right.
He couldn't trust, right? It was so obvious.
Huh. I'm now trying to think back on my life experiences. And,
yeah, I bet you could.
Yeah, no, I've always just thought that, like, you know, I just always assume that, you know, everyone's a little afraid of being rejected, and it's you know,
it's natural.
Getting over that is just something I never did. But maybe you're right. Maybe there's something deeper here that
when you tap, you'll see what you find, and it's all good, even if you get nothing. Although I think you'll probably get something.
Okay.
Because we sort of talked about it too. Yeah, but it's very, very useful. It's simple, and it goes. Because you can use all kinds of logic and affirmations and prayers and meditation. Well, meditation maybe helps a bit to get over your fear of rejection.
Right.
But every time somebody reaches out, your nervous system goes, stop! Red light!
Right. Right.
Even when it's just some lady that says, yes, let me paint your face. You know? So it's interesting.
Interesting.
You can find more about it on the net.
Okay, yeah, I will have to look that up.
I've told you the basics, and you can do it on yourself quite safely.
Okay. Interesting. That's so it seems like the mechanism is, you know, you're tapping, and it just kind of loosely distracts you from whatever you're tensing, you're holding in, whatever it is.
About the fact that you know how it's calming to walk or ride your bicycle and things like that. Any alternate stimulation of the nervous system is good.
Okay.
And for her, it was that just her eyes were following the birds.
Oh, okay. Left,
while
right, left.
she was thinking about her problem.
Okay.
So what you do, you think about, you stage the problem, and then you do this 4-part thing with the tapping.
Okay, interesting.
And so. And the bonus of it is that once your nervous system has been given permission to unravel this fear of rejection, it kind of goes through and remember, oh, I remember when I got humiliated. So it's okay to let go of that now.
Huh.
And so it becomes a memory and a lesson with a date rather than a brand in your brain that keeps firing like radium your whole life and telling you things aren't safe when they really are.
Right. Huh. I'm going to look this. Yeah.
So
wow.
That's what you get for wanting me to paint.
No,
your face.
I really appreciate it. I've definitely learned a lot more in the last 10 minutes than I expected to about any of this, really. So.
Well, seriously, that guy with the 58 ECT treatments and stuff, he was like a robot. And people tell from the Alano Club, they will corroborate that he was just like that lamppost, just expressionless.
Interesting.
And he'd already tried to commit suicide a couple of times, got kicked out of the Navy for being gay, blah, 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 and during the Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And he had spent thousands of dollars and many years on talk therapy, and it did nothing. But this cheap little tapping, for which I don't charge people for it because I think it's, you know, it's helpful.
Right.
And that helped him way more, and he said so.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, well, I know what I'm doing when I get home.
There you go.
What was your name?
Oh, you want my phone number?
Sure. I mostly just wanted to thank you and shake your hand.
Welcome, Eileen.
Eileen,
Yeah.
I'm Daniel. Thank you. No, I really appreciate it. You live around here, or you?
I live in Linda Vista, but I come down here for my therapy.
Oh, nice, nice.
You know, walking and looking at the ocean.
This is a good place for just environmental therapy. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. It's. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm retired too, that takes a lot of getting used to when you're used to being busy.
Yeah,
so
I can imagine.
I just do different things
to
get out of the house.
That's good. That's good.
It's always good.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. I'm self-employed right now, so not exactly the same thing as being retired.
No.
But in some ways,
you have to make yourself do things. You have
it's
to set
true.
the
It's true, right? But you do have this sort of like, oh, there's no one telling you what to do anymore, right? And it's like, okay, well, shoot, that's really different.
Yeah, it's a big adjustment.
Yeah. So I've been trying to figure that out, and
well, if you get a block of not being able to do things. Like I had a block doing my taxes, and I think my hidden belief was girls can't do money.
Okay.
You know, because I'm older than you, so I was brought up in.
Right.
I handed my paycheck to my husband, kind of thing.
Right,
hey,
right.
you take care of that.
Yeah.
You know. And I would put it off, and in the end I had to tap it.
Right.
And then I did it in 20 minutes. But it wasn't about the taxes.
Right.
It was about this old belief that women are no good at, you know, girls aren't any good at math.
Right.
Or that you'll do it wrong, or you're not
Right.
good enough. And all I had to do was get 3 papers together and send a check and mail it off to my tax person. I wasn't even doing the taxes,
Right.
but I had this huge block.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm wondering what's hidden here now. There's
yes.
certainly
You've
things.
got a treasure
I'm sure.
trove in
Yes.
there. Yes.
Yes, very excited. Okay, well, thank you. I really
welcome,
appreciate it. Thank
Daniel.
you again.
Hey, yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, likewise. I didn't expect you to say yes, and I also didn't expect to learn.
Lecture.
Well, no, I didn't feel like a lecture at all. No,
it wasn't. I like to share it because it's exciting, it's dynamic, it's free, it's cheap.
Yeah.
And you can do it yourself. It's discreet.
Yeah.
And furthermore, it's effective.
Right.
The other thing we need is kind of a support network.
Okay.
Whether it's 1 or 2 or 10 people or a group that you go to, you know, that you can just talk to about things, but not necessarily about these things.
Right.
Just because we really need to connect. And when we get in our just too isolated, then all the old traumas are really firing. Like, look at you now.
That makes sense. That makes.
Does that make? Yeah.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay,
well, thank you. Yeah. Take care. Enjoy your walk.
Thank you.
Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Didn't see that coming. Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you for a quick favor?
Depends.
I'm wondering if you could help me put some sunscreen on my face real fast. No?
No, not gonna happen.
May I ask why not?
Yeah, I just don't want to.
Tell me more.
I thought about it.
Yeah.
I decided I didn't want to.
You thought very quickly about that. Tell me more about what went on there.
I see. There's more going on here than the sunscreen on your face is what I suspect.
Maybe.
Makes me suspicious, and I really don't want to talk about it.
Oh, interesting.
So
Okay.
I'm shutting you off.
Okay. I mean, there's nothing dangerous or malicious
Have a
here.
good day.
I'm just okay. All right. Well, thank you. Have a nice day.
Oh, hey man, I'll do it.
All right. Cool.
One in every crowd.
Are you out of your fucking mind? I'm not gonna touch your face. Get the fuck out of here.
All right.
You're
Well,
crazy.
okay. All right.
What,
All right.
is this a prank?
All right. Well, thanks. Have a nice day, both of you. That was more like what I expected to have happen the first time, actually. Interesting. Excuse me. I'm wondering if one of you would be willing to do me a really quick favor. No? All right. Thank you. Interesting. Excuse me, sir. Wondering if you'd be willing to do me a quick favor.
Oh, sorry.
No? Okay, thank you. Excuse me, sir. Would you be willing to do me a really quick favor?
Has to be good.
Has to be good?
I don't know what it is.
What's
your problem today? I have a lot of them. Hasn't been a good day, so hit me hard. Go ahead.
all right, well, you know, that's all right. If it hasn't been a good day, I'll leave you alone. It's all right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
All right, take care. Excuse me. Would one of you be willing to do me a quick favor?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay, can I ask or no? No, all right. Have a nice day. Interesting. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I ask you for a really quick favor?
What?
Can I ask you for a really quick favor?
What?
Would you be willing to help me apply some sunscreen to my face?
To your face?
Yes.
You can't do it yourself?
I'm having a little trouble.
Okay, what's the trouble?
I just can't get all of it.
Why not?
I can't tell you right now. Would you be willing to help? Just
Oh, this is the weird. That's really weird.
I understand. Can you tell me a little more about what's going on in your head right now? What do you think is going on?
This is weird.
This is weird.
That's really it.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
maybe some sort of strange psychological experiment.
I can't confirm or deny that right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Nope, not willing?
Nope.
Too weird?
Too weird.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, well, I just finished doing that. Probably asked like 5, 6 people. That was interesting. So my first attempt was a yes, much to my surprise. Turned out to be total fluke because I didn't get a yes at all for the entire rest of the challenge. I got some pretty solid no's. I'm not gonna say they hurt because actually they didn't. Interestingly, so the second person I asked was just like, nope, and he just like looked at me like I was crazy. And then a guy behind him actually like messed with me and was like, I'll do it. And he was like, what the fuck? What do you? I'm not gonna touch your face, right? That's honestly, it's a pretty harsh rejection. That was like maybe one of the harsher rejections I've received so far. Overall, I think the set of rejections was definitely like among the harsher set of rejections I've received. And I'm actually very pleased to say that like overall it didn't affect me that much, which is good. It means I've definitely learned something. I think I had this moment with the second guy and the guy behind him, where I just realized, like, why do I care what they think about me? Like, it doesn't really matter to me that much what those two people think of me. You know, they're total strangers. You know, they haven't done anything that like makes them deserving of like my esteem in any way, right? Like, why do I care? And I think that like that was an interesting realization. Like, I realized that like I just like deeply did not care about what they had said or what they thought about the whole thing. I was surprised that they didn't get more curious. Like, that one guy definitely seemed to think that like something else was going on, and he just shut down and he was like, nope, bye. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't know what happened there, but sure, okay. I think the responses I got from other people were pretty similar. Most of the groups that I approached, just like, that's a very loud helicopter behind me. Most of the groups that I approached today just did not want to stop at all. Which actually, by the end of my doing this, I think made me a little bit afraid of like approaching other groups. So I think I passed by a couple groups that I could have asked but didn't. I don't know if afraid is the right word. Maybe I just, I don't know. I actually, yeah, maybe afraid is the right word. I think that like I started to build a story in my head around some assumptions about how those interactions were going to go, which is probably not what I want to have happen in those cases. So that's interesting as well. But yeah, overall, this seemed to have been one of those requests that is like literally just so weird that people are just like, what, why, huh? And the people who did stop to get curious actually did ask the questions that I expected them to. Like that one lady asked why I couldn't do the sunscreen on my own face, and I did not have a good answer for her. I had no idea how to answer that question for her. So yeah, she was weirded out, but you know, a couple of those people did seem to guess that this is some sort of psychological experiment, which it's not exactly, but it kind of is. So some of them kind of saw through my actions, but overall, some good rejections today. So I have gotten out of the comfort zone and learned something from the experience. So yeah, that's day 28. I have 2 more days of this. Yeah, I have 2 more days. One day is going to be asking some strangers if they will go for a swim in the Pacific Ocean, and then the other day will be busking, which basically is going to involve me and a violin and/or just my voice doing like Christmas carols in the mall or something. I actually haven't fully decided, and I'm like still in the process of seeing if I could practice the violin enough to not totally embarrass myself. But we'll see. So that's what's in store for the next 48 hours in the final countdown to the end of November Rejection challenges. Thanks for watching.